Hey guys, it is the year of the metal ox in 2021. So please don't forget to get a copy of your almanac. It comes with very beautiful pages. This almanac is actually loaded with a lot of information. You can find out when is the best day to get married, to be engaged, to move house, to renovate, to travel, and even set auspicious dates and meeting times. And this has been developed in such a way that everyone will be guided. What are the lucky and unlucky directions for the year? What are the so-called unlucky directions or renovation rules that you cannot do in 2021? I also put some tips. What are the post-pandemic tips that everyone can do? How to declutter your home or organizing your home. So this is available at freega.co.uk.
Ilang babies ba ang
2 or 3?
Mga 2 or 3 yung gusto namin.
Meron ka ng Year of the Ox ngayon? Kaya ba? You should
Wala natin mamaya.
I will be joined by my dearest friend, Tessa Prieto Valdez.
I really feel it's really just being uniquely yourself, being comfortable in whatever style you have. And I think it's being true and unique.
I call her a superwoman, Miss Gail Cruz Macapagal.
Hindi nahihinto ang pangarap, lalo pa nga nating sisipagan.
That's so amazing, Gail.
Hello everyone. Good morning there. Good morning there in the United States. Good afternoon here in London, and good evening there in the Philippines. Welcome to another episode of Marites Allen, Fun, Fortune, and Feng Shui. And today, my friends, I am so excited because all the way from the United States at this early hour of 5 o'clock in the morning, my very dearest friend is going to be joining me. And in fact, mga kaibigan, she has a very stellar resume. And I don't know where to begin to start to introduce her, but I'm going to give it a try anyway and give you a glimpse of what she has done and, of course, who she is. So mga kaibigan, our very, very VIP guest today, her name is Rosario. And Rosario was actually awarded as one of the top 100 Filipino women in the world by the Filipino Women Network. It's time to actually watch again another uplifting interview with a successful Filipina such as Rosario, who really made it to the top of global company after years of proving her merits as a business leader. Rosario Cajucom-Bradbury is a former managing director and CEO of SGS in the Philippines. And SGS is actually, my friends, I know a lot of you knew about the company, is the world's leading inspection, verification, testing, and certification company. She joined the company initially as a telephone operator, a position for which she is even overqualified, but accepted anyway because she saw it as an opportunity to work for a company who shared her vision. After 25 years of proving her skills and determination, she was appointed to lead the four entities that comprises SGS in the Philippines and Guam. She became involved with various advocacies aimed to help develop her country. Hers was a long story of professional and, of course, personal success. But at one point, she decided to focus on the things that truly matter and focus on her family while contributing to provide mentorship on leadership and life transformation. So, to know more about our guest for today, my friends, let's all welcome the fabulous Rosario Cajucom-Bradbury. Hi, Rosario.
Hi, Marites. Hi. Nice to see you
Hello.
in London.
Welcome,
I'm in America,
welcome.
you're in London.
Yes, and you are in the United States. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for waking up so early or staying up so late to be
No
with me
problem.
today. You look
A- a-
fabulous. You look
Anything for
fabulous.
you. And I saw that my friend Sonia Delen, who is from San Francisco, is already up and said hello. I just saw
Really?
the
Oh my
message
God.
there. I said, oh my gosh. Hi,
Wow.
Sonia.
Yeah, oh my God. Thank you so much. Actually, welcome. Yeah, we have a lot. We have Dexter. Hello, welcome. Gigi. I think Gigi is from Israel or Japan. Please indicate your country where you're watching us from. Annalisa, thank you for watching. Erica Soriano, I'm sure you are from Japan. Thank you for watching. Teresita, good evening. Dama Marites, thank you. Eric, thank you for watching. From Miss Gracia, looking forward to another exciting episode and lucky sharings. Forever grateful. Thank you naman, Gracia. Erica, Miss May, thank you so much. Maria Luisa, wow, okay. Exciting itong pag-uusapin na natin mga kaibigan. So please, if you have questions, prepare your questions because our guest for today is super duper talented. I don't even know where to begin, but maybe to really, really like start to basic. Who is Rosario? Can you please tell us which city
Oh,
or
Sonia
province in
Delen is
Manila?
in New York today. Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Hello, thank you. Thank you for watching. Rosario, where are you from the Philippines? Which province are you from?
I was born in Manila, in Makati, but my mom is a Banzon who is from Balanga, Bataan, and
Oh,
my dad is a Cajucom, which is from Bongabong, Nueva Ecija. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
so
So do
that
you like parang when you go back to the Philippines, you go back and forth to those provinces and visit your family, or they are there with you in the States?
half of my family are here in the United States already. We're a family of 8 siblings. One died unfortunately, but half is already here and half is in the Philippines. So whenever I'm in the Philippines, it's mostly I concentrate myself in Makati, where most of my family members are. But we go once in a while in Balanga Bataan to see our cousins and things like that. But Nueva Ecija, unfortunately, I have not been home in Nueva Ecija since I
Mhm.
was like 7 years old.
Yeah,
So
I heard it's ano now. It's very. I have a friend who bought, I think, 15 years ago, like a farm, and we wanted to invest there. And you know what? She is looking after like 800 mango trees or 1,000. And it's
wow.
very beautiful. So sabi ko, wow. And now she's enjoying herself. She's like happy to be there.
I know, whenever I go home, I like to be I have a lake house in Caliraya.
Yes.
But that's the one place I really miss. And if I've been locked down in the Philippines, I would just stay there.
I would. That's gonna be on my bucket list. I believe you are also doing. Do you do it for Airbnb for private accommodations or?
I don't do it through Airbnb. I only accommodate close friends.
Okay, so kasama na ko dyan. That
Of
includes-
course, of course. I can only accommodate close friends and recommended by close friends, but as much as possible, not, because it is a sacred haven for us. I call it sacred balance. So, I want to make sure it's people who takes care of our home.
Yeah,
That we
wow,
have them.
fabulous. Thank you. So take us through to like becoming a Rosario Bradbury. Like, who is she? What is she?
Well, first of all, integrity is what I stand for. Okay. In everything that I do throughout my life stages and whatever purpose I drive for, integrity, with God in the center, and family being the most important thing is what drives me really. So that's very important to me. And, I don't mind starting work. Even now that I've been a CEO, I don't mind going back and doing the most menial things, because for as long as it has meaning, towards the purpose, I don't get myself involved with it, which is a waste of time or meaningless moments. Like this time. This time is very meaningful. So
Oh, thank you, Nawan.
definitely investing time with you and in this show is very key, because it's the best way to reach out people. Who am I? I come from a very not from a rich family, okay? I come from a middle income family where my father started as a messenger in central bank and became the chief of a department examining commercial banks. So in similar pattern, I've started my career as a telephone operator and rose myself up to a CEO. So it is something that I've learned from my dad, which is the value of integrity, which is something that money cannot buy, and things like that. So I believe this is who I am. And who am I? I'm a proud mom of an LGBTQ. My son is the most beautiful creation of the Lord as far as I'm concerned.
And we will gonna be talking about it later. I'm so excited to know more about that. So thank you for sharing. So Rosario, so all your families are some are in the States, some are in the Philippines.
That's
And,
correct.
and you just get together. Yeah, wow, wonderful. Because sometimes, like what you said, in the end, especially in this pandemic, being with a family, reconnecting with them, being with them is very important. So um, take us to how your journey becoming on who you are today as a woman, with so many, like achievements. Were there any events or circumstances in your growing years that you think has molded you to be who you are now? Like, for example, do you know that we all, I don't know, some people, because we all like parents started with different careers, right? Like
Yeah.
my father, I remember there's 12 of us, Rosario, and he would dictate us what course we would take. Like, kailangan ka, sa gobyerno ka magtrabaho. You take a business degree, or at the time nauso yung mga computer science, etc. Was there a time in your life going through forward na hindi, I'm gonna do it my way and this is where I want to be?
Well, that's very interesting, because, my generation is a generation with parents that will tell you, as you said, what course you're going to take up. Okay. So we're eight in a family. We have a lawyer, we have an architect, we have a medical technologies, we have a computer science people. And then when it comes to me being the youngest, my dad told me, I want you to become an accountant, because there's no accountant in the family. Okay.
Oh.
And because my dad is an accountant graduate as well, and he was in central bank. As I told you, he started his career as a messenger and then became the chief of the commercial division of central bank that audit and inspects commercial banks if they're cheating or not. So what has been my foundation has been what my dad has told me. But I set aside first what course he wanted me to take. But first of all, integrity is something that he instilled in all of us. Why is it? One thing I can never forget is that he audits a lot of banks who are cheating or who are in compliance, you know, on the basis of the central bank regulations. And he caught some of the banks that are cheating, so he would have to go to the court and prove it. And there were some banks who tried to bribe my dad. And suddenly one day, there was a 20-footer container with new appliances to replace all of our appliances as like a gift. So because one of the bank owners was an owner of an appliance store. So you know what he did? He was so angry and he said, get out of my sight. I don't need it. You know, when I saw that, it got instilled in me that he walks the talk of what is integrity really is. And he will scold us. Kala mo yung The Sound of Music na yung all the 7 children, yung king and I, sasabihan niya. So, pipilahin niya kaming 7, sasabihin niya, you never sell integrity dahil hanggang sa kamamatay mo, ang integridad mo ang magdadala sa'yo sa kinabukasan mo. So that thing really got instilled in me in everything that I do. I will never compromise my integrity. Okay. Now, going back to the course that my dad wanted me to take, he wanted me to be in accounting. Why? Because in central bank, it was a policy or a best practice there that a family member replaces them in their career. So, ako ang kapalit sa kanya, you know, and things like that. So, okay, so I took accounting in my first year of college. But in my 4th year high school, by the way, he died of a heart attack, unfortunately. You know, heavily smoking and stressful career and everything else. So he died, but I still went through the course that he wanted me to take on my first year college. And then on my 2nd year, I felt like this is not what I like, really. You know, I don't like numbers. I don't like accounting. And I told myself, well, he's dead anyway, so I don't have to replace him. But, you know, I'm not being happy about it. I'm sad about it. So I decided to shift my course into communication arts. So I'm really a comm arts graduate, and I wanted to be in media management and advertising, but I never really practiced it. I went straight into corporate world, but not in media management and not in comm arts. But while I was in college, I was already doing a lot of work. I was working with McDonald's. So yan si Goma, Richard Gomez was my contemporary. Magkakasabay kami sa McDonald's. Magbarkada kami nung unang panahon, you know, hating gabi nagtatrabaho sa McDonald's, during the daytime nag-aaral. But even before that, in high school, I was already working as well. I would sell Sanrio items. You know, mga classmate ko nung high school, St. Scholastica, whose parents will go to Hong Kong and get a lot of items, and they're medyo wanting my help to sell it. So, okay, give it to me, I said. So, I would sell it in St. Sco, Pahulugan, or mga ngatok ako sa kapitbahay namin at Pahulugan, puro Sanrio items. And then, I decided to nagkaroon ng cash and carry sa Buendia, di ba? Sa Batangas Street. So, the money I've earned there, I buy items in cash and carry PX and I'll sell it, you know, ng pahulugan sa kapitbahay. And then,
very entrepreneurial.
I was very entrepreneurial. Tapos, bibili pa ako ng palabunutan. Alam mo yung palabunutan? 5G palabunutan and things like that.
Yes, wow.
So, that's how I was. And then, I was selling also even life insurance. And at a very early age at high school. And I would ask you, are you prepared to see a album of coffins? Because it's part of the package. So if you would like it in the future already. So I really like it. Yes. And then I went to McDonald's with Richard Gomez working with me. And then I went to SGS and I applied there as a telephone operator. I didn't care. I start from the bottom for as long as I get into a multinational company. I didn't even know what that company is. So that's where my rising, my beginning really started, you know. Because I look at my life as a beginning, a rising, and you thrive, and then you go surviving towards your life beyond 50, and then you find your new meaning again, and you rise again and thrive once again because it's a new life purpose. So that's my beginning. Very entrepreneurial.
Beautiful.
Laman
Wow.
ng kalye, naglalaro sa kalye, but I studied in Saints Co in my high school. So, I got the best of two worlds. But when I go home, it's the reality. I'm not as rich as my classmates, but I do what I believe in and do it with integrity.
Yeah, wow, wonderful. In fact, okay, so takeaway from the first part of our show, mga kaibigan, integrity can never be compromised. And I believe there is one comment here from Joey Abenida. Sabi niya, galing, you are so lucky, you are so fortunate to have a father like that. Um, Thank you for watching, Miss Sonia. And of course, our dearest friend, Miss Gail Cross Macapagal. Proud Kulasa here, Rosario.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Gail. Another
Thank you for
kulasa.
watching. Thank you so much for watching. I believe, Rosario, that you are, of course, the executive producer, the anchor of your fabulous talk show as well. And I read somewhere that you are perhaps going to develop and begin a new talk show, which is about parang a CEO detox with Rosario. Can you tell us about it? Can you share? Parang kasama na ako dyan, papa-detox na ako sa'yo. To our viewers.
Well, first of all, my current radio show, which has been running for 2 seasons, and we're going to be opening for season 3 in May, it's Talk Shop Asia Global. So I just wanted to describe what is Talk Shop Asia Global. Talk Shop Asia Global, our objective there is to help small and medium and big businesses as well to promote their businesses during this pandemic in order to help bounce back, economic bounce back, to tell the world there that even though there's pandemic, business continues and they're there in order to help you and to help the country. So it's my way of helping our country back through this economic bounce back. Being in business in the corporate world, I went back to my media management love and passion, and I use my business knowledge and using the medium of media to promote this on a worldwide basis. Now, my upcoming show is another show called CEO Detox with Rosario. It is not a detox of cleansing your body in terms of food. No, it is different. It is detox is taking always a moment to step back and reflect on what are you really doing and what is really important in your life. Are you still in track and so forth? So in CEO Detox, I will talk about my life journey, as I mentioned, my beginning, my rising, my thriving, my surviving mode. It's like going up into a mountain and as much as it's difficult to go up the mountain, it is more difficult to go down from the mountain, to go back on earth, that you're no longer a CEO, all the glamour is gone, and you realize who your really friends are, and then you reevaluate your life and find a new purpose. So you go back again and thrive because you found a new purpose in meaning in life and reflect. So CEO Detox is talking about my life journey, talking about the reality of being a CEO, the real success factors, and what are the fears of leadership. And not forgetting that at the end of the day, you got to balance your life as a mother, as a wife, or as a family member. And is there really such a thing as a work-life balance? For me, there's really none. It's just a matter of prioritizing your life on the basis at what stage of your life you are, So right. I'm very lucky to have become a CEO in a multinational company, male-dominated Swiss company that never looks at your color, never looks at your gender, but sees you for what you are and the value you project. So that's what is CEO Detox with Rosario is all about. So I will share that.
We're going to watch out.
And I will guest people at whatever stage in their life they are. And I will guest people who have touched my life. And I hope that I have touched their lives as well. And I have another show coming up, but I'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I think,
Wow. So it's this pandemic is even making, you or us all very, very busy, in fact. So my friends, so those who are watching us right now, it's really a very uplifting and inspirational story that Rosario is giving us. And in fact, that's going to lead to my next question. That rising from the ranks as a telephone operator to the, CEO of the company, what challenges did you experience and what led you to take these steps going up to the corporate ladder? Kasi you'd been what, 25 years or 30 years?
30 years with
30
the same
years.
company.
Yeah, did you like say like, oh my God, after fifth year, ayoko na, aalis na ako, or it must really has looked after you so well for you to stick with them that long?
Well, I've been very lucky that I've joined a company called SGS, as you know, who's present in 150 countries with 10 business lines. So it was never really, it never really bores you because every role that you take is a new learning. So what are the challenges that I've had? You see, I started as a telephone operator, and when I was, it's funny because when they interviewed me, I was interviewed by 3 foreigners, one African, one British, and one Chinese. And when they were interviewing me, they say, "I'm sorry, Rosario, but you're overqualified for the position we have." And I said, "Why? What's the position?" I said, "Telephone operator." I was like 23 years old, 22. I said, "How much is the salary?" When you're that young, your practicality comes up. How much is the salary? They said, "It's 1,800 pesos per month." I said, "Wow."
Wow.
In my mind, it's higher than my salary in McDonald's. I said, "Oh, I'll take it. Give me the manual and I'll learn how to use the PABX and things like that." So on my first week as a telephone operator, I sat there and there were like 5 foreigners running around the office. And one of them was seated in the corner, who happens to be the boss. I was just making a joke and I said, one day I'll sit in that corner. I was just making a joke to myself, honestly. I was like, hey. And after that, after like 4 months of a telephone operator, they moved me to a telex operator. For the young ones watching it, they don't even know what a telex is.
Yeah.
And fax operator. So, after that, they promoted me to become a receptionist and then as a data entry operator. So I was progressing. And then they decided to put me in the government office, who is our client, to be the representative of SGS to handle questions of importers complaining about our reports. So I sat there for a year in GTEB, the Garment Textile Export Board of the Department of Trade and Industry, when Philippines used to be a textile place for all the consignments, and you put it together and then you export it. And then after that, we would have a monthly meeting, and our boss, a British guy, said, our executive secretary has resigned, and we're looking for a new secretary. So we will be rotating you once again. So after they put me back to the office from that government role as a representative of SGS, and he said to me, "Rosario, you're now going to be my executive secretary." Wow. I said, "What?" I said, "I don't know how to type. I don't know shorthand. So are you sure you want me to be your secretary?" And then he said, "Well, you're going to be under probationary for 6 months, so we shall see." So I took the challenge, and I tell you, what I did was every document that comes on my desk, I will read it, because it was information, it's education. And then I took the initiative of drafting already position paper for my boss and letters in response of complaint. So he was shocked that I was composing it for him. For me, it was just, I was getting bored and I wanted to learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
And then later he said, "Rosario, there's an opening in Singapore to handle trade complaints of exporter. I want to assign you there for a year." So I said, "Are you sure?" "Yeah." So I flew to Singapore, stayed there for a year, interacted with exporters, and I understood more the perspective of international trade. And then when they brought me back to the Philippines, they promoted me as assistant operations manager, liaising with all importers and sitting in Bureau of Customs to defend the findings of SGS, because importers were complaining about our report too high to pay their duties and taxes. And then my career took me everywhere, and they pulled me out again in assistant operations manager. I became a part of the audit team of the Geneva headquarters. They throw me in many countries. You name the country. They'll throw me there to re-engineer the office, talk to government about a new contract, make presentations about the services of SGS. So I've flown from Madagascar to Pakistan, Kazakhstan. And I was even stationed in Switzerland for a year and in London for a year in the Strand to set up the training center of SGS. So what challenges did I have there? As far as diversity is concerned, there's a lot of diversity there. And I didn't feel any deficiency being a woman or a woman of being Asian color. But one challenge I have is that the foreign language, suddenly they'll speak French. How I wish I know how to speak French. And I go like demand, hey, can we speak English, please? And things like that. And so, my career took me in a lot of beautiful places, met a lot of people. So I'm very lucky in that sense. The consequences of that, I got heartbroken. My boyfriend found me too intimidating or too strong for them. My Filipino boyfriend, my fiance, dropped me for another girl. So since then, I could never before again a Filipino. But I love Filipinos, but I just think that they couldn't handle how I work. And so I ended up, meeting foreigners and saw them that they see me equal and things like that. And then I was asked to go back to the Philippines after traveling around the world to set up the back office of SGS from ground zero. The back office at the time, in year 2000, was never yet coined as a BPO or shared services. And we used to call it PU, parang ang bad eating, PU. Processing unit. Okay, so I was asked to centralize a lot of the operation of SGS in the Philippines. We had a competition with Germany, with Indonesia and Chile, and they chose Philippines and Chile to be the back office. So I took about 45 countries and I moved a lot of work to the Philippines. So it was something that I felt I have already left a legacy, and I wanted to leave SGS already after 3 years that I've set it up. So I resigned and they talked me out. No, don't resign yet. There's still a lot of things to be done. And suddenly they offered me to be a CEO of Philippines. And wow, I never aimed to be a CEO. I never dreamt of it. Although I know in my first week as a telephone operator, I said, I'm sit in that chair.
Yeah, you did say, I'm going to sit there one day.
Yeah, but I never really planned my career towards that. Because I was enjoying every moment that I've been part of the company, because it was always learning a new things. I told you, you're present in 150 countries. You have 10 industry lines, from the mining, agriculture, consumer, industrial, certification. So I turned it down, to be honest, to be a CEO.
Wow.
And they pursued me, and I was already taking my master's degree. I decided to take my master's degree at the same time because I was preparing to move to the US, because having been married to an American. And they keep on calling me while I was in school, and please consider, So at the end of the day, I said yes, okay? And suddenly they said to me, can you defer your master's degree so that then you could focus on being a CEO first for the first 2 years? You know what I said? No deal. I want to take up my studies. I've given a lot of my years to SGS already. At that time, about 15 years already I've given, or 20 years. I cannot defer my studies because I have dreamt to take my master's degree for a long time and have been pushing it off. I said, either you take me with my master's degree or not, but I will take my master's degree. If you'll take my CEO role with a master's degree, fire me if I don't make it in the first 2 years as a CEO. So they allowed me to take my master's degree. They even funded my master's degree. So I was very lucky and become a CEO for 10 years. And usually every 5 years they change, but they kept me there for 10 years until I moved to the US. So that's my life in a sense. So the challenges was mainly language. The challenges was mainly I forgot to get married early and have a baby. Choices in life.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God. I am truly honored to have you on the show, Rosario, and tell us about your story. I know we met, a couple of times, many times, but nothing like this. So it's such a great honor to have you and to know your journey. So I think, mga kaibigan, we're just going to go for a very, very short break. We'll be coming back and read your comments. Thank you for keeping us company. So we'll be back in the next few minutes. Kung gusto niyo pong tuloy-tuloy ang swerte sa buhay, mga kaibigan, pwede po kayo mag-invest ng 9 Dragons Painting. Ito po ay nagsisimbolo ng inyong kasaganaan sa buhay ay pwedeng dumating sa iba't ibang maswerteng lokasyon. Maaari po maglagay ng mga well chips sa inyong bahay kung ikaw po ay isang negosyante or kung gusto mong umunlad ang inyong negosyo. Maaari po siyang lagyan ng mga coins or mga gold ingots para po punong-puno at maswerte ang daloy ng negosyo sa inyo. Alam nyo ba na dapat sa pagtulog, kailangan na isang buong cushion ang kanilang hinihigaan at hindi po dalawang single bed na magkadikit lamang because yung sa gitna na kanilang patlang ay posibleng magsimbolo ng hiwalayan ng mag-asawa. Sa inyong mga living room or sofa, kailangan po maglagay ng mga cushions na merong mga mystic nut symbol. Ang mystic nut po mga kaibigan ay nagbibigay ng mga peace and harmony para sa pamilya. We're back again, friends, with our dearest VIP guest, Rosario. And I just would like Rosario to greet our viewers for today. We have Aries. Age is not a hindrance to learn new things. And it broadens your horizons. Very inspiring. Sabi naman ni Dexter Alasas, wow, this is very educational, inspirational for us to dream and work hard and just enjoy the journey. And then we have so many clapping of hands from Erica. Sabi naman ni Editha, good evening po. And then Sonia, true confidence, being prepared, innovative, can-do attitude, constant learning, and willingness to explore. And of course, our dearest Gail, sabi niya, ang galing-galing talaga ni Madam Rosario, of course. Sabi ni Joey, talaga may experience siguro to. Sabi niya, oo nga, nakakaloka yung telex operator, nakakaloka yung machine noon. Di ba yung mga malakihan pa yun with all the numbers, di ba? Yeah. Nakakatuwa. Okay. Dexter, we miss GABT. Good to know you were part of the textile industry. Wow. And then Sonia said, influential, empowered, super Pinay Rosario is so humble and very much approachable. Get to know her, watch her shows, and a very fun person too. Yes, you can really, really vouch that. Wow, ang galing. So thank you so much, Rosario. Ang galing na galing talaga. Now, another question that I'd like to know more, Rosario, is that, you know, some people just doesn't have the luck that you have. Like for them, you see it because you're so focused, you have the vision to go where you want to be. But some people, like what you said, they have to balance between, should I get married and move to this place and go ahead and put my career on the side? Did it ever come to you to like choose between career and love life?
You know, that's a very, I wouldn't say interesting question. It's a question that hits straight to my heart. Why? As I mentioned, I got married at the age of, oh gosh, I forgot. What age did I get married? Oh, almost 40. Okay. I got married at the age of 39 and gave birth at the age of 40. Why? Wow. Because I have deferred love in that essence because I've been brokenhearted many times. Okay. So that is one area that has been quite interesting. Life balance. When I had my son, one thing I kept very consistent is praying always at 7 o'clock at night before he goes to bed. Okay. Now, how do I do that with a life that I'm traveling all the time? Luckily, there is such a thing as a technology of the FaceTime and things like that. So if I am in Europe, for example, and I know it's going to be 7 or 8 o'clock in the evening, whatever meeting I'm doing, I will excuse myself at dinner meeting, at board meeting. I said, I need to be excused for 10 to 15 minutes because it's prayer time with my son and I never
So
compromise.
beautiful. Wow.
So I would call him and eventually he would also text me or message me, Mom, it's time for prayer. I'm sleepy already. So we would
Oh,
pray, and our prayer is like this. It's in three parts. First is we don't just chant our Father or Hail Mary. We put that at the last. What we do first is what's your favorite of the day that you want to thank the Lord? And what's your not favorite today that you also want to thank the Lord? Why we ask that? So we share each other, my favorite and not favorite, and his favorite and not favorite. Why we share that is because on that basis, I get to know what happens during the day, and I get to know his thoughts inside. And after that, then we pray, please bless us for good health and long life. And we name all the people that we love. And then we pray Hail Mary and Our Father and Hail Mary. And all this we pray in Jesus' name. So you see, every night we would do that up to now. Okay. Now, have I chosen between marriage and my career? As I told you, it's an emotional question because the first 11 years of my career was my husband is in the US and I was in the Philippines. We both have a career that we could not seem to give up at that point. But
yeah.
he gave up for a while his career because for 2 years after our marriage, he decided to be relocated in the Philippines for 2 years and take a role there for managing the back office for Texas. So it's a reverse time. So 2 years he lived in Manila. But the problem is I thought he did that because I was promoted as a CEO and he wanted to support me being a CEO. So I said, yes, great, come to Manila. So that then after a stressful day, I got somebody to kick at the house to express all my frustrations. But the thing is, he was working in the night because he was serving
Oh,
Texas, which is a complete opposite of our time
yeah.
zone. And
I
I
know.
tell you, it
I can
stressed
relate.
our marriage. Yeah, it stressed our marriage that I felt like, my God, nandito ka nga. Pero pagdating ko naman sa gabi, wala ka na kasi nasa papasok ka na. Pagkagising ko, patulog ka na. So you know, we were sharing the same bed, but just different time zone.
Yeah.
After 2 years, he has to go back to the United States because, you know, his new assignment was there because he was working for Ernst & Young, Capgemini, and so he was thrown in many countries as well. For 10, 11 years, we will only see each other every 3 or 6 months. That was straight 11 years like that.
Wow.
So it came to a point that I questioned myself. Is this really a marriage?
Mm-mm.
And I filed a divorce,
You
but I
did?
backed out from it. You know, so you asked me how things are, and actually in 2013, I developed anxiety and depression, and I could not understand what the hell was going on with my life. I became hypochondriac. I had this acid reflux, and I would go to Makati Medical 3 times a week, seeing all types of doctor. I would see an ENT, please, can you look at my throat? I would see an EGD, can you do a colonoscopy on me and a endoscopy? And I would see a rheumatologist. Every ache of my body was coming out, and I didn't
Wow.
understand what was going on. And I tell you, I was seeing 2 ENTs. One in the morning, I would see who would put a camera through my nose to check my throat, and then in the afternoon, I would see another ENT who would refuse to put a camera and just say to me, "Praning ka lang, Rosario. Why don't you just go home and things like that? You're already
Yes.
hypochondriac." You know
Mhm.
why I'm saying to ENT at the time? It's not because I don't trust the findings of the other.
Yeah.
It's just that I feel that they complete me because the other ENT who puts a camera into my nose, it's like being a CEO. You want to know everything what's going on, and the things you don't see, you're doubtful and you want to see.
Mm-mm.
While
Ah,
the other ENT will tell me, "Praning ka lang, go home and da-da-da, and everything will be all right." My point there is, as the guy who looks at the camera is like a CEO to me that takes no shit and tells you straight clinically what's wrong, while the other one will appeal to your emotion of saying, praning ka lang, you're okay, don't worry about it. So it balances me over the mental analysis and the heart. So I was seeing all of these doctors. So I went crazy for 6 months, and I realized 2013 was the time I was turning 50. And I never realized my chemical imbalance was coming in over your hormones. And I was questioning about my marriage and the stress about the work. I realized my acid reflux was the stress of all of this, emotional stress and the work stress. But I said, work stress I can handle, no issue. But if you combine it with emotional stress, that's deadly.
Wow.
That's a deadly combination. And on top of it, my hormones were going wacko. Okay. So,
Wow,
but I
thank you
managed to
for
do how
entrusting
this
your
is.
story. This is amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, like what I said, you're a superwoman. You are a very, very happy mother, because I believe you are a very, very proud, with your relationship with your beautiful son, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we love
Definitely.
that about you. So can you please tell us your story? I mean, I love the way that you practically had to stop working just to be with him when you pray. It's amazing. I can relate that, because my husband, wherever he is in the world, he would call back wherever Nikki is, and they would have to have the reading time. Sa kanila naman is reading time. And they don't have a book to read. My husband would have to come up with a story randomly. So they have like a new story telling every night. So thank you so much. So again, Rosario, you are very proud mother, a beautiful mother to your beautiful son, who is actually in the LGBTQ community, and we love that about you. Can you please tell us more about it? And some people out there are also just in the phase of accepting, and in the phase of already out there. And again, I think it's just like, for me, naturally, I just love, I don't have any friend that not in the LGBT community. So I just love them. Tell us your journey about that. I mean, only if you can share us a
Of
bit.
course,
Yeah.
I'm very open about my son being gay. Okay, maybe before I tell you how he opened up to me and how I
Yes, yes.
took it.
Yeah.
First of all, before that is that my son, since a young kid, I believe has an old soul, because he speaks very much of a lot of wisdom at a very young age. He has written poems at the age
Wow.
of 9 years old, a poem about leadership, about friendship, about wife. And you go shock at a 9-year-old. Why would a kid like that write poems? Okay. Um, so that's how he is. And sometimes I ask him, Anak, because I was going to talk at PMAP at the time about work-life balance. And I asked him, Anak, do you think mommy balances life between family and my career? And you know what my son said? And he was like 8 years old at this time. And he said, Mom, this is how I see you. When I need you, you rearrange your schedule straight away. And that's work
Wow.
life balance.
So sweet.
These are the words of a young kid. And then I was so open to him at the time that I filed a divorce initially, but I didn't push through with it. That's why we're still married. And I told him, Anak, I hope you don't mind, but I may have to divorce your dad. And you know what he said to me? He was like 10 years old. Mom, your marriage is your problem. That's you and that. I have only one request. What? He said, he asked me two things pala. Sabi niya, one, can I still see my dad? Of course, he's your dad. We will always make time for you to see him. Second, are you gonna drop the name Bradbury? Please don't, Mom, because that's the only thing that attaches us, the name Bradbury. So that's a 10-year-old. Now,
Wow.
our relationship are so close. So you could imagine that when he opened up to me, this is what he said. Because I was doing some work in Manila, going back and forth between US and Manila, and I picked them up in 2017, December 24, Christmas Eve. I picked them up at the airport. And then when I brought them at the house for Christmas Eve, so I was, preparing for Noche Buena and things like that, he suddenly embraced me and whispered to my ear, Mom, I think I know what I am. Okay, before I say that, because months before that, He told me whenever I come home from Philippines, from a meeting, he would tell me, Mom, I want to wear an earring. Daddy said, I
Okay.
asked you. So I said, sure, why not? Wear an earring. I said, for as long as it is tunay na earring, hindi fake. Kasi baka ano yung tenga mo. So,
No,
things like that. So I was answering him in a sense of practicality. And then he would even tell me, Mommy, how come my tutu goes up when out of the blues and my classmate is reciting class only and it goes, oh, it's part of growing up, but it goes up when I see a boy and it goes up also when I see a girl. He goes like that. I said, don't worry, when I was your age, I was also confused kung tomboy ako or what, but eventually it will go far. But anyways, now fast forward, December 24, Christmas Eve, he embraced me and whispered in my ear. And he said, Mom, I know what I am. And I said, what are you? So I was cutting some food in the, kitchen. Whispering to me, I'm gay. I have to tell you and be honest with you, as a mother, may kurot sa puso. Okay? Natural lang yan. You know what I said straight away? Hindi ko pinakita yung kurot sa puso sa kanya with my eyes. I turned around and I said, okay, let's do this. Let's get your sperm and put it in a bank because gusto ko magkaapo. Okay, so that's what I told him.
You did?
I did. And you know what he said? Mom, you're creepy. Well, you better give it to me freely and don't let me get it in many other ways.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Laughed and about it and so forth. So since then, we will go shopping together for makeup and he will look at all my clothes and look at my clothes, what he can wear.
Wow.
He could still fit in my clothes. And during this pandemic, I am his photographer. I will take photos of him. All the photos that you're showing here was taken by him.
Wow, wonderful.
And we still continue to, of course, pray every night before going to bed and things like that. So I took that photo.
Yeah, she's so pretty. And look at this one. Is that your gown or his gown?
No, that is his gown. He buys it online. My God, it's sa America talaga you buy online. He does his own makeup. He's a self-made makeup artist. I can never do that makeup. He's incredible.
Yeah.
He designs his own clothes. He fashion designs himself, and he's been participating in a mini RuPaul Drag Race. He wants to be the next RuPaul drag queen.
Wow.
So I watch these shows as well to understand it. Because for me, it's about educating ourselves. Because we are in two different generations. I'm a boomer, okay, and he is he's not millennial. He's a Z generation. He's Z.
Yeah, Z. Okay? Yeah.
So you could see. So the point is, it's educating each other. So sometimes we will get a heated argument. Teenage hormones, and I'm a menopause hormone, so we're like a clash of the hormones. So we will always fight, but at the end, we will embrace and kiss and say, "I love you," and it's all about educating. I took that photo.
Look at this. It's just. He's so beautiful. Look at the eyes.
Look at my dog. Even my dog is mesmerized with the beauty of my son. My dog Muffin. He does his own makeup. He styles himself. And I am his photographer in many of the photos he posts. Sometimes he's too extreme, but I try to be very understanding of the type of generation they are.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell you that we're coming up also with a podcast of me and my son.
That's right. Tell us about it.
Our purpose is to educate the public of the struggles of an LGBTQ and equally the struggle of parents. And what is important is you educate each other. Because, he does not understand our beginnings and our foundation of what we believe in the past. And he does, and I don't understand how they think, especially he's a Zilnial. But there's one thing that struck me, and I have to tell you, which is where religion comes. One time we were in church, and he has long nails, and he was going like that. He was like tense, and he was going like that. I said, "What's the matter with you?" And then he was going like that because he was wearing lipstick. "What's the matter with you?" He said, I'm wearing lipstick and my nails are long. People are going to look at me. I said, who cares? People look at you. Mom, I've read the Bible, and in the Bible, they never speak about our kind. So I don't think we are welcome in the Bible. So he said, you may be understanding me, but the devout Catholic may not. So I prefer to hide this. And I said, okay, let's get out of the church. I went like that. I cannot let you be in the presence of God and your tense. So let's get out and let me talk to you about this. I said, the Bible may not have about your kind, the LGBTQ, because the words of God cannot be perfectly interpreted by a human being when writing the book. It takes a generation and a different mentality. In time, you will see. Look at the Pope now. He is so welcoming inclusivity and equality and LGBTQ. Times have changed. The Bible may not speak about you. You cannot please everybody, okay?
Yeah,
but
right.
In heaven, it is genderless. There is no male, there is no female, there is no gay, there is no lesbian, there is no bisexual, there is no non-binary or binary. So you have to think of it that way. For as long as you have that relationship with God, He does not care what is your gender. He created you. He gave you to me.
That's right. It is really very important. It's amazing. Thank you so much for trusting your stories, you know, the highs and lows of your career and your relationship with your son. It's amazing, Rosario. And it's really like, it takes somebody like you. You know, I mean, us, we are emulating your experience with everyone around, and how you also has had your son. You know, being a very supportive mother is very important. Can you imagine those? Yeah, can you imagine those others that they don't have the support from the family? You know, we feel sorry for them.
You know, my message to the family out there who would have kids with LGBTQ, I know it will take time to understand. It took time with me, but open your ears and your mind, because you don't want them looking for a family outside of your family.
Exactly.
Because they look for a community. And you want to make sure that you're part of that community. They will find a new community, but be part of it. Because at the end of the day, you know, every day me and my son fight because he's a teenager and he's like a girl. So talong babae nag-aaway. But at the end of the day, what matters is love. Secure him with that love.
That is very important, because others could, like what you said, they'll find a way to have that acceptance or family or community or connection from someone else. So what's really nice with you is you really support each other, and I think he values it. Your son values it. We're nearing to the end of our show. Is there anything else that you want us to know? What is next for Rosario? And in fact, my last question to you is: do you consider yourself lucky? And in a way, that has there been a Feng Shui input in your life somehow? With your guiding light, you do a lot of prayers, but in between and all throughout your career, did you think you have to say, okay, maybe I'm going to do some energy balance with myself? Did you go through such?
Yeah, I did. As a matter of fact, I believe in, not many believe in it, but I believe in it, that I like my life chart being read. And I had that read every 5 years or every 2 years. And I've been guided in one of the life chart that was read to me. They said, and that was like 2014. The life chart said, you will have an issue with your son when he becomes teenager. And I told myself, what issue will I have? Every teenager, you will have an issue with a teenager. It's normal.
Yeah.
And then I never realized it until my son came out as gay.
Right. Yeah.
So that's
hey,
when
we should
I realized.
Yes. We should update your chart pala. We should do your chart.
Yeah, and I believe in that, and I'm guided by that. And I remember last year we had that Valentine dinner.
Yes.
To talk about
Manila House.
Yeah, exactly, Manila House. And you said, hey, you rabbit, don't wear red, don't wear pink. And I tell you, I followed that for 1 year. I don't wear red. I don't wear pink. And today, I now wear red because I have not
Yes.
been wearing them for a year.
See?
And
So,
I remember you said that 2020 is a reset. And at
yes.
that time, there was no pandemic being announced.
No, it's amazing.
No. And
Grabe.
then when that happened, I said, oh my God, what Marites said is hit to the point.
Yeah.
It's a
I mean,
reset.
it's really a reset for everybody. And I think, I mean, like the story that you have been sharing to us, it really has opened up a lot of, like options to us as well. We have managed to revisit a lot of things in our life, both professional and personal. And my friends, the takeaway of this talk today is really more on, in the end, family matters, of course. And like what Rosario is doing, my friends, abangan niyo po yan. The podcast is coming up. It's a very, very, I love that you are gonna come out with your son with a podcast, because it's really the nice thing is it's not like a relationship between from somebody from the LGBTQ community with someone else, but this one is like a tandem. It's like a mother and son information, which is like reality. This is like close from home. So abangan
Exactly.
niyo po yan, mga kaibigan. When are we gonna expect that, Rosario? Is it in the
Okay.
works now?
It's already in the works. We expect to launch it in June or July.
Okay.
And I tell you, we have already a title. The title is Coming Out. Okay.
Okay.
Why is it coming out? It's a play with words. Okay. Coming out from him coming out,
Uh-huh.
me coming out of the boardroom, and him coming out of his gender orientation.
Oh, yes.
Coming out from pandemic, what has been the learnings, all of that, over our relationship as a mother and son, and mother and a beautiful son. So we play with the words coming out and things
Yeah.
like that.
That's nice. And will you be inviting people to come in, or you're gonna have a series of talks between you and your son?
It's
Will
a
you be?
series of talks between me and my son, but I invite somebody to come in.
Yes.
Who I will invite are people from the LGBTQ community, as well as the parents of the
Yes.
LGBTQ, and as well as friends of the LGBTQ. You see, it's a spectrum of gender that supports that community.
That's right.
It's
Wow.
not just centering on the LGBTQ, but the people around them. In order there is a fuller understanding. An understanding cannot just be with the mother, with the parents, and the LGBTQ. It has to be the people around them as well.
Yeah,
So
because
the
I
world
think,
will accept it.
yeah, like what you said, it's a community. Wow. So, my friends, we have now reached our beautiful show today. In fact, overtime na po ito kasi madami pa tayong pag-uusapan next time. Sabi dito sabi niya, next time daw, let's have your son to guest as well on the show.
Sure. Actually,
Okay.
we guested him in my show. You know what he talked about?
Uh-huh.
Which is the impact on the mental wellness of the prolonged
That's
online schooling.
right. That's right. That's right. That's a very good one. That's a
Oh,
very
he was like no holds bar, so frank about how he feels about it. He gave an advice to the teacher. He gave an advice to other young generation. He gave an advice to the parents. Be understanding, please. You have
Yeah.
robbed us of our youth. So that's what he says all the time.
Beautiful, beautiful. So, Rosario, thank you so much. I think we can follow you. Please follow Rosario on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. She has a show that is every once a week, right? The Global
Yeah,
Talk.
the Talk Shop Asia is every Wednesday in Manila at 10 o'clock in the morning. And in California, that is 7 p.m. And the CEOD Talks
Yeah.
will take place also on the same day, which I will give the time later on. So hopefully you'll be following us. So with my talk show with my son, I will be having 3 talk shows every week. My God,
Oh
this
my
pandemic
God.
has made us crazier.
Yeah, that's gonna be fabulous. And mga kaibigan, thank you for keeping us company. I know you have a lot of questions out here. I'm gonna come back to you that later. And please, to those who hasn't subscribed and like our YouTube channel, Marites Allen, please do so and keep sharing. Sabi dito ng aking grupo, coming out, what a powerful brand for a podcast. We are very excited to hear and see this coming soon. And Rosario's story is exciting and colorful and very empowering to women and family. Thank you so much. Sabi naman ni Kenneth, true, galing ni Mama Marites when she advised me her talk in Davao. I did not listen yet in Malas talaga. So dahil doon, I'm a fan na or something. Thank you. Sonia, friendship meant a lot to Rosario. She's a dear friend. Whether you're near her or afar, we are blessed with her friendship. And then sabi ni Dexter, you are a champion to our LGBTQ community, Rosario. Looking forward to your talk show with your son very soon. Wow. And then sabi ni Dexter, your son should be given exposure to share na his story and help open everyone's eyes as well. Ang ganda ng baby mo daw, sabi ni Erica. Rosario, ang ganda ng baby mo. And thank you for sharing your story, Miss Rosario, sabi ni Mercy. Thank you so much, everyone. Cora, very interesting story. Thanks for sharing, Madam. Thank you, amazing women, both of you. And of course, sabi ni Ate ni Gail, thank you so much for sharing your story. And Sonia, wow, courageous to share those difficult challenges and to overcome them. Sonia as well said, life balance, not balancing family, work, and social community engagement. It is a life integration. Marami pa po mga kaibigan. Oh my God. Until next time, my friends. Thank you again, Rosario. From the bottom of my heart, I love you. And I wish you well. Be well there in the US. And I hope to see you soon. If not in the UK or US, perhaps in our home country, the Philippines.
Maraming salamat din, Marites, and to your team. And take care and keep safe always.
Yes. Thank you, guys. We'll see you soon. Until next week. Bye.